Down here in the bottom left side of Glittering Ashes, he is Dark. And his opponent, up here in the top right, he is World Champion Rogue. So both of these guys do have a World Championship under their belt. Dark winning the very last WCS BlizzCon in 2019, and Rogue taking it in 2017. So they definitely do have a bit of a history playing against each other. They've both been around for quite a bit of time. And really, out of the two of them, I feel like Rogue is the more consistent player. Like, even when he's not winning the finals, there are a lot of instances where he does manage to make it to the round of 4. Sometimes he falls in the round of 8, but that's not very often. While Dark does have some periods where he doesn't look at his best. And that's not me being like down on him. He definitely plays way better than most of the people in Twitch chat. And me, of course. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one here because we do see a pretty mirrored matchup to start. Hatch into pool. As we see, yeah, nothing really too much to say about this point. As it's kind of just that really, the thing about ZVZ, the first couple of minutes are just like this really slow build up. As both sides are going to be dropping down a third base. Dark's just a hair quicker. Alright, so now we see a little bit of a change up here as Dark's going to be the one who goes for that very fast Baling Nest, while Rogue is instead going to start to wall off his natural as well. He's probably going to go up into a +1 either Carapace or attack, which is going to be really, really nice. And it is going to be Carapace, which is going to mean that his Lings just tank a lot more damage. Those Banelings, I think it takes 2 shots now. And so having that is going to be really good, especially since he's just going straight up into that Roach Warren. Dark hasn't gone far enough to see the fact that it's a fast Roaches. So he has no idea. He just thinks that it's going to be some sort of Ling attack. And he is set up for it a bit here. He's got 16 more Lings on the way. But so far, he's a little bit out of position. So these Queens going to go down. One of them will die. The rest of them do survive because of that one Baneling holding down the fort. Baneling's trying to make their way, waddling across the map. Not really getting the best connection of right there, but Dark has pushed him back all the way back to his own natural base. But he still doesn't really have enough to deal with the Roaches, and those Roaches will again have Carapace. The Queens do get surrounded though, and all 3 of them will go down. So a beautiful pickup right there from Dark, but the fact of the matter is he doesn't have enough. He should not overextend. Well, that being said, he did do some pretty good work. Now Rogue is on the counter here. Dark gonna go for a bit of a wraparound so that he can pick off reinforcements and stragglers to the attack. But looks like Rogue is just gonna keep a few units back at home just to make sure that he doesn't take any damage to any sort of run by. Does lose his own third base very, very quickly here as Rogue tries to focus fire down his third. But now Dark breaks through. He does get the surround in. The +1 attack upgrades really helping out, but the Carapace as well, just keeping his units alive. So instead, Dark's just going to go for the juicy, juicy drones. And yeah, Dark's pretty much all in at this point. He's going to drone up slightly try and stay ahead economically, but oh, he's starting to break through these Roaches' defense. Rogue kind of recognizes the situation that he's in, realizes that he has to go for an attack right here, right now. 24 more Lings on the production tab for Dark, but Rogue, oh man. His whole strategy right now is pretty much let Dark attack into me and let him waste all his money. Problem with that? Rogue is broke. Like, you can kind of see Dark is a little bit broke as well, but his army is a lot cheaper to reproduce. So now Dark going to be looking for his avenue, and Rogue has plugged the hole. Banelings in the backfield going to do what they can as well. These Roaches starting to go down. He actually loses the Roach Warren and the Evo Chamber. That is a huge loss because now every Roach that dies, he won't be able to replace. You're going to get caught out here in the middle of the map, and now Dark has extra Carapace of his own. So they are doing a little bit of extra damage while taking a little bit less. The Banelings coming on in. Rogue tries to split, but he still will lose a Roach to them. And Dark has 12 Roaches of his own, so Rogue is essentially all in. Off the back of what he has, no more drones in production, no more third bases being built. Yeah, defender's advantage, I think it's just going to be a little bit too much for him to handle, but here we go, the Banelings making their way forward, trying to get on top of the Spine Crawler. They will manage to get a Queen, but the Concave is just a little bit too good. And Rogue will tap on out. What is this, a GSL final? You know what? Maybe it is. Maybe both of these guys will make it to the GSL final, and then it'll be exactly like that. In fact, they won't even play the final. They will just play the replays of this series on a repeat. Just do it twice for a best of 7, because that's how good that last game was. But we do have relatively similar builds here. It looks like Dark wants to squeeze out one additional drone. Nothing too wrong with that. It just kind of trying to keep his economy ahead of rogues. And you know, the funny thing about these kind of mirror matchups, especially ZVZ, which are considered kind of coin flippy, it really is that kind of game of seconds that we talk about quite a bit. As if you guys know, like 1 second and all your lings die to a bane. 1 second and your opponent has just one more roach and he has one more second to get set up for a concave. So it's really, I think, the one that relies most on your timing. This mirror matchup, that is. But anyway, we do have the third base going down for both sides. Dark once again going to be going for a fast Baneling nest. So he's going to be looking to put on the pressure against Rogue, who does have his own Baneling nest on the way, which, by the way, has been scouted, as that Overlord did make it far enough in. Evo Chamber going to be dropped down in there in the wall as well, so probably going to go for Carapace just because he only has one. There is a possibility that he's going to grab the roaches very quickly, so he might just start missile attacks as this drone or ling going to make its way into the main base. Sees absolutely nothing of importance, but what he has seen is this ton of lings gonna move across the map here. Now, keep in mind, this is not all in by any stretch of the imagination for Rogue. He does have +1 missile carapace or missile attack coming on in. And the Roach Warren has almost completed for Dark, so a bit of a timer here for when these Banes can start to do their work, as Dark going to put on a little bit of counter pressure of his own. Looks like a ton of counter pressure as well. 14 more lings on the production tab. One queen will go down. The rest should survive for now. Like a Bane's trying to look for an opening, but not gonna find it. Very nice trade there for Rogue. He does manage to get rid of all of those Banes. And so Dark, he's going to have to go back to the drawing board here, as his opponent will have a much faster lair and has already started his roach production. Dark does have a Roach Warren of his own, but he is focusing very heavily on the upgrades and only making the lings. Looks like the Banes tried to get in there, but didn't really get a lot done. A little bit of a scout as well with this attack. Two workers gonna go down, but they also see the fact that there is a lair on the way. I think they have seen the roaches by now. It's probably impossible to miss them. They're just lings everywhere. These are like cockroaches that you can't get rid of. Overall, though, Rogue getting a much better trade with those Banes. And yeah, it's slowed down a bit as, you know, Dark's still looking for these little avenues where he can attack, but Rogue does have his roaches in perfect positions just to make sure that he doesn't take any of that damage. He's also trying to put on a little bit of pressure of his own, but Dark as well, just really on top of things. So both these sides just going to power up for a long time here, especially since Rogue is up double the army supply. So it's going to be a little bit for Dark to kind of reach those levels, so he instead must kind of turtle himself, retract into the shell, and just hope for spring very, very soon. Or he's just going to do that instead. So this is the map that I'm really, really curious to see the way it plays out in the CVZ, because remember, you do have that gold base as your potential fourth in the center of the map, but it's going to be very risky to take. If you are able to get to it, though, that is going to be a very high yield reward. So I'm going to be interested to see how these guys are going to kind of play around that as this game goes on. Looks like Rogue is going to be going for something very aggressive here, as he will be going, as he does have that very fast Evo chamber, which does tell me that either A, he's going to go fast roaches again, or B, he's going to go for a +1 attack on those lings, and they just absolutely shred through early game Zerg. Unfortunately, because of conflicting time zones, the group selection will not be streamed, but the procedure and results will be made fully transparent. Okay, that works. Well, what else works here is that we do have that +1 attack coming on down for Rogue. On the other side of things, we got that Baneling Nest and the speed gonna be popping on in. And yeah, things are about to heat up here. Just one more round of drones for both sides, and I think after that, we're gonna just see, yeah, both sides pumping the lings. Is this a replay? Nope, it's live with 2 minutes delay. They're going to be able to get a little bit of a scout, sees everything, and he really has to confirm that there is indeed that +1 attack. So now that he's seen that, he's got to make a decision. Do I go for my own +1, or do I go straight for the roaches and just get the +1 missile attack? Looks like the answer is going to be +1 missile straight into roaches, so he doesn't want to waste any time with these lings. Just wants to put on a little bit of pressure, defend a little bit, and go from there. We do see he's moving in, trying to cancel that third base, which is actually at the fourth. But Rogue is able to defend that quite handily right now. So that, again, that's going to be a really high yield reward for him here. Thing's just going to power on through. Kill off a couple of queens, trying to get on top of the drones, but they won't die. They just won't die. And now Dark putting Rogue on a bit of a timer for the time that this is going to be useful, as the Banelings, the Lings, they're going to lose their effectiveness as that roach count starts to grow. +1 attack help much against banelings? No, but it will. No, versus banelings, you do want +1 carapace, which he does have in just a couple of seconds. But +1 attack will do pretty well for kind of just the straight up ling fights. I guess it could do a little bit better versus banes. It's like a pretty big Widowmine, or excuse me, a baneling strike went into Dark's or Rogue's base. In fact, Dark just gonna keep the pressure up, focusing down those drones, not really worrying about the army that's chasing him around. As 3 workers fall, he still has a couple of units hanging out here in the main, but they are not too long for this world. Roach count is really, really scary for Dark. Rogue has started production on his own. It's 23 to 10 right now, so that's a pretty big. That is a pretty big advantage. Dark Bunny results 2-0 Dark. Oh, Bunny never played Dark, right? He played DRG, which is like Dark, except not. So now this map is just getting absolutely covered in vision. Everybody sees absolutely everything. There are no secrets. This is like an actual healthy marriage, not that I would know. But as these guys are starting to max out here on these roaches, those upgrades are going to play a pretty big key into how this game goes. We do see both sides kind of just sticking close to their third. And Dark, he's playing it more passive. He's going for the safer third, or fourth rather, in the backfield so that he doesn't lose his income advantage. Yeah, nothing much else to say here. While these guys power up, the Spire does get dropped. So maybe 4 or 5 mutas just to try and force an overcorrection out of Dark. I don't think that Night Swarm was scouted. Hopefully for him it wasn't scouted, because there is a big window where you can drop a Night Swarm that Dark Rogue doesn't have like any vision whatsoever in his main base. go. The Nice does get spotted. There are a couple of Overlords now, so that will be cleaned up. Rogue trying to push his way up the map. He feels like he has enough units to do so, but the Biles forcing him back down, and this is not the fight he's really hoping to take, as another big force heads straight for the natural. And again, he doesn't really have a lot back at home, so 23 more roaches gonna have to do it for him. And Rogue is just getting pushed back on all fronts. 16 workers going down. 17 in total, and that natural hatch is still under fire, going straight for the main base, as this force gonna cancel the Mutalisks. So that is a cool little play. As he's just pressuring, and putting on all the right moves here. He could kill the bases if he wants, but it looks like the answer to that is maybe not. But the reinforcements, though, going to be able to make it into the Nidus, as this time there's nothing for Rogue here. He is down 50 supply, maybe 60 if I can count right. Minos are going to do what they can. They just really can't do a lot in this situation. They don't have the upgrades to be effective. Yeah, as Dark trades out here, Roach supply gets lower and lower. That supply tab gets, or that production tab gets barer and barer, and that base count gets smaller and smaller. Looking like Dark has won it, but Rogue being very stubborn right now. He does not want to go up against anyone right now. He just wants to get out and go home. Looks like that's not going to be the case. 76 to 180. This is going to be the final killing blow for Dark, and he will move on. He qualifies for the main event. GG is called, and there we go.